Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today, we are going to be tackling XRP. It's a cryptocurrency that's been, I think, generating a lot of buzz is an understatement. We've got a mix of news articles and expert analyses from some pretty reputable sources. And we're here to kind of help you cut through all the hype and all the noise and really try to understand what's going on with XRP and why it matters and, what the potential implications are for the future.
Yeah, what's really interesting is that it sits at this kind of crossroads
Mm.
of cutting-edge technology
Right.
and this financial system
There you
that's,
go.
trying to figure out what to do with it.
Totally. And that's kind of what makes it so fascinating, right? So let's just jump right in, start with the elephant in the room, that recent price surge. I mean, XRP shot up to $3.50, and analysts are throwing around predictions of it hitting $5, even $7 by 2025. Barron's even called it a potential gold mine for early investors, hinting at, life-changing returns. But what is fueling this rocket ride?
I think it's not just hype. There are a few things that are at play here. So you've got the overall crypto market, right? It's been experiencing a surge in interest in investment. Then you have institutional adoption. So more and more big players are kind of dipping their toes in the crypto waters. And then, of course, let's not forget about the legal battles that XRP's been kind of entangled in, which surprisingly have actually worked in its favor.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Legal battle's working in its favor. How does that work?
Yeah, it might seem counterintuitive, but think about it this way. So the SEC, which regulates financial markets in the U.S., right, they've been trying to categorize XRP as a security, which would then subject it to much stricter regulations. But in a recent landmark decision, and this was reported by Investopedia, the SEC's appeal against XRP failed. The courts declared XRP is not a security.
So that's why everybody's so excited about this. Like, it just got a free pass to play in the big leagues.
In a way, yes. This ruling, it removes a huge cloud of uncertainty that was kind of hanging over XRP. And it has major implications for the entire crypto world, because now it could actually influence how other cryptocurrencies are regulated
Yeah.
and potentially pave the way for wider acceptance.
But wait, didn't I read somewhere that Ripple Labs, the company behind XRP, got hit with a massive penalty? Something like $125 million?
Yeah, you're right. Reuters reported that Ripple Labs was fined for illegal sales of XRP. So it is kind of a mixed bag, right? You have this huge legal victory on one hand and this hefty penalty on the other.
So not a complete fairy tale ending here. What does this all mean for XRP's future? I mean, is it smooth sailing from here, or are there more storms brewing?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? The SEC decision definitely removes a major obstacle.
Yeah.
And it signals, potential for growth. But the penalty reminds us that the regulatory landscape is still evolving.
Yeah.
And there are definitely challenges ahead.
Okay, so we've got price surges, legal victories, and regulatory hurdles. It sounds like a roller coaster ride. What about mainstream adoption? Could XRP actually become, something that everyday people use? I was reading on CoinSpeaker that there's talk about an XRP ETF, and even some big banks are starting to get interested. What's the deal with that?
So an ETF, or exchange-traded fund, would essentially bundle XRP into an investment product that could be traded on traditional stock exchanges. So it would make investing in XRP as easy as buying a share of, say, Apple or Google. And if that happens, it could be huge for XRP's accessibility and mainstream appeal.
So it's kind of like a bridge between the crypto world and Wall Street.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. But what does it mean for the average person who might not even know what an ETF is?
Imagine being able to buy XRP through your regular brokerage account alongside your other investments. That's the power of an ETF. It removes the complexity.
Yeah.
And it makes crypto investing more familiar and accessible to a wider audience.
Right. It kind of normalizes it in a way. Okay, hold on, though. CoinSpeaker also mentioned that an XRP ETF could challenge the SEC's control over crypto. Is that even possible? I mean, the SEC seems pretty determined to keep a tight grip on things.
It's definitely a bold claim, and the SEC isn't likely to give up its oversight easily. But the approval of an XRP ETF could force them to be more open to crypto-related financial products, which would be a major shift in the financial landscape. It's almost like XRP is forcing the traditional financial world to adapt.
Okay, so big potential, but also a power struggle brewing. This is fascinating. Now, zooming out a little bit, let's talk about real-world applications. Brave New Coin is reporting on XRP's growing use as a payment method by global companies. They're even asking if this is the beginning of a shift away from traditional currencies, like the dollar and the euro. Is that even remotely possible?
It's a very thought-provoking question. While it's unlikely that traditional currencies will just disappear overnight, XRP's adoption as a payment method highlights a growing shift in how we think about and use money. Its speed, low cost, and global reach make it a very appealing alternative, especially for businesses operating across borders.
So it's not necessarily about replacing the dollar entirely, but rather offering a more efficient way to move money around the world.
Exactly. Think of it as a complement to existing systems, a way to kind of streamline and optimize international payments.
Okay, so XRP is gaining some traction in the real world. But let's be real, this is crypto. There are always risks involved. You Today is waving some red flags, warning of a potential price crash and what they call hidden risks. Should we be worried? What are these hidden risks they're talking about?
It's always wise to be cautious in the crypto space. Price volatility is inherent to this market, and XRP is no exception. As for those hidden risks, there are a few key things to consider.
Okay, I'm listening. What should I be looking out for?
So firstly, despite the recent legal win, regulatory uncertainty persists. Governments around the world are still figuring out how to approach cryptocurrencies, and any new regulations could impact XRP's future.
So even though they won this battle, the war's not over yet. Governments could still step in and, change the game. What else should we be worried about?
Well, the technology itself, it's still evolving, right? Like any new tech, there's always that risk of unforeseen glitches or security vulnerabilities popping
Well,
up.
it's like those early smartphones, they had all these cool features, but then the battery life was terrible and they were constantly freezing up.
Exactly. We're still in those early stages of blockchain technology. There's so much potential there. But, we're bound to encounter a few bumps along the way.
Okay, so keep an eye on the tech side of things too. Anything else?
The last thing I think to remember is that XRP's fate, it's very closely tied to Ripple Labs, the company behind it. So any legal or financial troubles that the company experiences could directly impact the token's value.
So it's not just about XRP itself, it's about that whole ecosystem that it's built on. Investopedia actually made a pretty dramatic statement. They said that Ripple's ongoing legal battle with the SEC could decide the fate of cryptocurrencies forever. Is that even possible?
It's certainly a pivotal case. The outcome could set a precedent for how cryptocurrencies are classified and regulated, not only in the United States, but potentially globally.
Okay, so let's play out the scenarios here. What happens if Ripple wins this legal showdown?
A decisive win for Ripple. It would be monumental, I think. It would signal that the U.S. is open to innovation in the crypto space. And that could potentially lead to much wider adoption and legitimization of cryptocurrencies.
But a win for Ripple, wouldn't that also benefit other cryptocurrencies? That might be facing similar scrutiny. It's not just about XRP, right?
Exactly. A Ripple victory could actually create a much more favorable environment for the entire crypto industry.
Yeah.
It could encourage more investment, more innovation, and just overall more mainstream acceptance.
Okay, so that's the optimistic scenario. But what if the SEC wins? What happens then?
If the SEC prevails, it could have a chilling effect on the whole crypto industry, I think. We could see much stricter regulations, which could then stifle innovation and just make investors hesitant to enter the market.
So it's a make or break moment. Not just for XRP, but for the entire crypto space. This Ripple case is bigger than just one company or one token. We're talking about the future of finance itself.
Absolutely. The Ripple case represents this clash between the traditional financial world and this new wave of decentralized technology. It's a battle between old and new, control and freedom. And the outcome will definitely have far-reaching consequences.
It sounds like we're on the edge of a financial revolution.
I think in a way we are. And just like any revolution, there will be winners and losers. The question is who will come out on top.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about XRP's meteoric rise, the landmark legal battle with the SEC, the potential game changer of an XRP ETF, its growing real-world use, and of course those looming risks that could derail it all.
Yeah, it's a really complex and fascinating story, and it's still unfolding, right? What I think is really striking is how each of these sources, they offer a slightly different perspective on XRP's future. Some are incredibly bullish, focusing on the potential for massive gains and global disruption. Others are more cautious, highlighting the risks and uncertainties. It's like they're all looking at the same puzzle, but focusing on different pieces.
It's almost like trying to predict the weather, right? You've got all these different forecasts, different models, and in the end, Mother Nature just does what she wants. But I think here's the thing. Even though we can't predict the future with any certainty, understanding these different perspectives can help us make more informed decisions. What do you think?
Absolutely. That's the beauty of critical thinking, right? It's not about blindly accepting one narrative or another. It's about evaluating different sources, weighing the evidence, and forming your own conclusions.
So what does all of this mean For you, our listener, who's been taking this deep dive with us.
Well, hopefully, you now have a more nuanced understanding of XRP. It's not just about the price or the hype. It's about these complex legal battles, technological advancements, and a potential shift in the global financial landscape.
And it's a story that's far from over. Yeah, it's a bit like a choose your own adventure book, except, we're all writing the story together in real time.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so exciting. The crypto world is constantly changing and evolving, so staying informed is crucial. What we've discussed today could be completely different tomorrow.
Right. It's like trying to hit a moving target. So as we wrap up this deep dive on XRP, here's a parting thought for you to ponder. As you continue to explore this world, whether it's XRP or any other cryptocurrency, pay attention to which sources kind of resonate with you the most. Are you drawn to those bold predictions of massive gains and, disruption? Or do you lean more towards those cautious warnings about volatility and uncertainty?
I think it's all about finding sources that you trust, sources that align with your own risk tolerance and your investment goals. And don't be afraid to challenge your own assumptions. The crypto space is full of surprises. And I think the best way to navigate it is with an open mind and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Yeah, it's like that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify your sources of information. Diversify your investments. And never stop learning. There's always something new to discover in this space.
The world of crypto is so vast and constantly evolving. It's a fascinating journey. We're all just kind of figuring it out as we go.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it. So there you have it, our deep dive into the world of XRP. We explored the highs, the lows, the potential, and the risks. Now it's up to you to decide what it all means for you.
Remember, this is just the beginning of the conversation. The story of XRP, and indeed the entire crypto space, is still being written.
We hope this deep dive has given you the information and the insights you need to navigate this exciting and ever-changing landscape. And remember, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. Until next time.